Africa did not begin quietly. It began with breath, with dust lifting under bare feet, with the first human gaze turned toward the horizon. Long before history learned to write itself down, Africa was already remembering. Here, time learned how to walk upright. Here, humanity rehearsed its first questions. Where do we go? How do we live? Who are we to one another? Seasons passed like slow thoughts, rivers shifted their moods. The Sahara, now a desert of silence, once carried rain and grass and the low music of cattle bells. People moved with the land, not against it, carrying ancestry in their voices rather than in stone. Then one river chose regularity. The Nile flooded, retreated, and returned, patient as a promise. Along its banks, Egypt rose not suddenly but deliberately. Pharaohs ruled with the certainty that order could defy death itself. They built monuments for eternity. Yet, their truest achievement was teaching the world that human will could organize chaos. South of the desert, other powers breathed and grew. Nubia crowned its own kings. Carthage faced the sea like a calculating mind, trading, negotiating, expanding. Rome destroyed it, but destruction never means erasure. Africa had already proven it could think in empires, commerce, and law. In lands without marble palaces, history moved just as decisively. Axum struck coins while much of Europe still counted with hands. Ghana controlled gold so completely that its kings refused to touch it. Then Mali rose, vast and confident, and Mansa Musa crossed continents with wealth so immense it bent economies in his wake. In Timbuktu, scholars debated faith, science, and governance, while libraries grew heavy with manuscripts. This was not a continent waiting to be discovered, it was one deeply engaged with the world. Then the world arrived differently. Ships appeared, carrying ambition disguised as faith. Commerce sharpened into cruelty. The Atlantic became a corridor of sorrow. Millions were taken not as rivals but as objects. Villages emptied, kingdoms destabilized. Silence spread where songs once stood. Europe's sudden prosperity cast a long shadow, and Africa lived beneath it, altered forever. The 19th century brought maps and arrogance. Borders were drawn as if land were blank paper, as if people were footnotes. Colonial rule spoke the language of order while extracting rubber, minerals, and lives. Resistance burned everywhere. Ethiopia stood unbroken. Elsewhere, rebellion wore many faces: quiet endurance, open war, survival itself. Colonialism lasted barely a century, yet its consequences settled deep, like a bone that never healed straight. Independence came with celebration and uncertainty. Flags rose, new anthems learned to speak hope, but freedom arrived carrying weight. Borders that made no sense, economies built to serve others, institutions trained to command rather than listen. Some leaders dreamed and stumbled, others ruled with iron certainty. Africa entered the modern age arguing with itself as all living societies must, and still life insisted. Cities expanded, music crossed oceans, writers reclaimed memory, young people questioned everything. The continent refused a single meaning. It remained ancient without being finished, without being defeated. Africa is not a story with a conclusion. It is a long conversation between past and possibility, between loss and reinvention. History did not merely happen to Africa. History began there, passed through it, and continues to breathe within it still.